We are back, guys. Welcome back to the Severed Floor. We have been gone for a while, but you know what? We're back and we're about to discuss today, you guys, the Superman movie, which I really loved a lot. But before I even start geeking out, let me say hi to my co host. What is up, D and Video Shane? Video Shane, let's start with you. How are you, Mr. Studio Man?
I am excellent. Getting excited for next week for Comic Con, but I'm glad I got a chance to get out and see this. Um, it was, yeah, I agree with you. It was fantastic.
Yes, definitely. And D one and only, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm super. I know, very corny.
See what you did there.
Super. But
um, yeah. No, I'm really good. Um, it's hot here, but it's yeah, you know what they say is the summer of Superman, right? So I'm very excited to talk with our special guests who are joining us today to talk about Superman that came out on July 11th for most of the people. I know some people got to see it earlier than that, so lucky you. And there are going to be spoilers, so if you haven't watched it and you don't want spoilers, this may not be the show for you right now. You can come back after
Yes.
you've seen it.
That's right. I need to put a graphic up for that. Give me a second. I'll do that in just a bit, guys. But yes, there will be spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, come back and rewatch us when you do. But I'm really happy for the people watching right now or the people watching on the replay. We appreciate you for tuning in every single time. Guys, we have an action packed panel in the
mm,
studio tonight. We have Kristopher Stig, our movie man himself who likes to fly all over the place and watch movies. We also have Slider, our fellow Star Trek man, as well as Shae Byron from Candy Digital as we discuss the Superman movie today, you guys. And I'm not even going to wait any longer. Let's get them into the studio right now.
Oh,
What's up,
what is
everybody?
up?
Welcome to
Hi.
the Severed Floor. Trust me, you won't. You'll still remember things when you leave here. I promise. So,
Yeah, we don't turn
um,
off part of your brain.
I know, bad joke, guys. For the people wondering why this show is labeled The Severed Floor, we actually started this show to cover the TV show Severance, and it was a show that both myself, D, Video Shane, and Biggest Bro started. And we had such a fun time doing this together. We decided to branch out of that and actually do movie reviews with this show. So here we are, and we have some guests, and you guys, we're going to be talking about Superman today, and instead of introducing yourselves, we're just going to get right into it. And how I really want this to kind of flow is we'll introduce each other when we start speaking. And so I will start how we're going to do this first. Obviously, everyone knows who I am. I'm the real Hinano. And so, guys, we're going to be talking about Superman. And I want everyone to understand something with this movie is I walked into this movie with very low expectations, not because I dislike DC, which is quite the opposite. I'm a huge DC fan. It's because the movies haven't really been the best. I think the last movie I watched was The Flash, and I really wasn't a fan of it. There was some high expectations, and so for this one, even though it really did feel like it was going to be good, I walked into the movie, with low expectations. Well, I'm going to tell you, 3 minutes in, I started to tear up. And this is how bad it got. We usually go to a luxury cinema here, so we order food and they bring it to you. I was bawling so bad that the guy was bringing our food in. He shined his light at me, and you could see all the tears in my eyes. And the guy's looking at me like, "Sir, here's your tacos. Are you okay, sir?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." You know what I
Extra
mean?
napkins, please.
So that's how much I love the movie. But just to put it lightly, the movie starts. He's lying there in the snow. He's bleeding. You literally sees. It's kind of like a Star Wars moment where you have like the little synopsis on the screen of what really happened. But when you see him lying there in the snow, you see him vulnerable. He's bleeding. He's definitely a stark contrast from Cavill. This gave me Smallville vibes right away. And so that's my Superman, Tom Wellings. And so for me now, guys, I know this movie hits for different people. Some people didn't like the movie. Some people thought it was just okay. And some people loved it like me. It really hit for me that this guy reminded me of Smallville, at least the Tom Wellings Smallville. Heck, even the Tyler Hoechlin Superman for Superman and Lois. That is the Superman that I really love. that really family value type of feel Superman. Like take the super out of the Superman and just have the man. And that's how I felt like right there. Now, when you hear that David Fleming score, I know the John Murphy score is just as cool, but that David Fleming score of, you know, the original John Williams theme, that did it for me, guys. Like I just started to cry my eyes out. And you know, anyways, that was like the first experience for me with the movie. That's what set the tone for me for the movie. And yes, there were some plot holes that I noticed. Yes, there were some things I didn't like, but I didn't care because I was all in my feels already because it brought back the nostalgia of when I first really started liking Superman. I'm going to now pass it on to my panel, and I kind of want them to have their first reaction when they first saw the movie. I'm going to start with you, Shae.
Oh, with me? Okay. So when I first came into the movie, I immediately expected to absolutely love Crypto because I'm a dog person, and I did. Fell in love with him right away. But I do have some favorite characters. But let me tell you, I gotta say, the Man of Steel stole my heart. Don't anyone, that's my catchphrase. Don't take that. I absolutely loved how vulnerable he was. And I agree with you. I love the family dynamics. I love at the end when, you know, at the beginning when he's like, oh, he loves to watch the video footage of his parents. And then at the end, the video footage that showed up was his adopted parents. That just melted my heart. And every aspect of his personality, the way that he thought, the way that he felt, I loved it. I just felt like it was so honest. And I just feel like this movie was something we all really needed right now.
Yes.
Just like you, Hinano, I was in tears. In tears. I had not cried like that since Tony Stark died. I cried hard on that one too, but this one, it really all the feels, you know, so much heart and the kindness that Superman just brought to the table in every action, every reaction. I just it was so heartfelt, and I was just so impressed by the delivery of every single character. But I don't want to do all the talking here, so I will reserve everything else that I have to say for banter as we go along.
Shae, why don't you pass the baton on to someone else?
Okay, I will pass it on to Shane.
All right. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely loved it as well. I went in with low expectations as well. I didn't really know what to expect. I'll be honest, Superman's probably not my favorite character of all. And one of the reasons he's generally not my favorite character is because he's just so powerful of a character. And it makes there's no real stakes for him. I'm never worried that he's in jeopardy in any fashion. And the thing that I thought was really smart on James Gunn's part was that it opens up the movie with him bloodied and beat up, and so it immediately shows that he's vulnerable. And to your point, Shae, I thought that was really, really intelligent writing on James Gunn's part. That we open up with he's put at ease in his chair by the video footage or the VR footage or whatever it is of his birth parents. And I don't think I've seen this before as far as a Superman film goes, where there's an actual character arc with him that he changes and learns and grows as a character over the course of the film. Because generally speaking, that character is so powerful, he's just events happen around him and he deals with the events and then the end of the film happens. This film was very different in that he grows as a person, as a human, and it ends with that beautiful scene with the video footage of his adopted parents, which was just really beautiful. And you know that really impactful dialogue moment between him and Lois, where he's trying to explain that I'm doing the right thing. I saved a bunch of people, and just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. And it was great that Lois is there to be that, kind of foil for him to bounce things off of and make him think about his actions. So yeah, I thought it was great. I thought adding in the additional super powered beings was great. All of it just helped move the film along. It really was at a brisk pace. It was over before I knew it. The other thing, I know, Hinata, when you said the movie starts off with kind of a recap, I actually think there's a lot more going on in that recap. I think James Gunn is establishing some real parameters for how his vision of the DCU is going to be moving forward. Because it starts off with 300 years ago is when this happened. Then 30 years ago, this happened. Then, and everything's in threes. It was kind of interesting. So I was very, very pleasantly surprised. So I'll do the next handoff. Chris.
Thanks so much for that, Shane. So for me, it's, I gotta say I went and watched it 7 times.
Oh, wow.
And each time I was looking for something different, which I did find something different, which that just made it all more even better. One thing I want to point out on this whole thing that I really enjoy that James Gunn really nailed, that kind of Smallville kind of did in a way. And I got to meet Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum, I think 5 years ago. And they were just kind of going off, on some lines that they, had rehearsed. And one thing I really liked about it that this movie did is it expanded out so far. Like you're just, you see Superman, you see the vast city of Metropolis, and, everything's going on. And then, you get a scene and then it just gets so intimate and so close and kind of slowed down to where you can actually, get a feel for the movie and get a feel for the characters. One of my favorite lines was when Lois was like, "Oh, you think everything and everyone is beautiful." And then Superman was like, "Well, maybe that's the real punk rock." So they put those kind of cool little intimate lines in there in the dialogue that's really kind of, I feel like, kind of brings it in. And you kind of got like you did in Smallville and some of those scenes. So I really enjoyed that. Can't forget Mr. Terrific. I feel like I've been kind of scouring the internet and no one really has said anything about Mr. Terrific. I feel like he's my most favorite character. I think
He's my favorite character too.
I think he's up there right now. Yeah. I want to get a costume. I don't know.
I love the smears. Those are cool.
Well, it's just amazing how he came in, at the last minute, the last hour to do what needed to be done to help. And that was just kind of brought back kind of like that team effort, and that community effort in a sense for people to kind of, take care of each other and help out when everyone, when it's needed. And like I said, like you guys, I agree with you guys here. This movie came out at no better time. And the fact that it exceeded everyone's expectations, I really love that because, you don't really get too many movies like that. And I'll say I went and watched it in IMAX. I didn't get to see it in laser. So I actually flew out to, I think, Lincoln location in Nebraska. Went and saw it in laser IMAX, and that was that was awesome. Just really opened it up, and it was nice seeing the I think I posted about it, but it was nice seeing the Cincinnati Museum Center in there too as well. That really meant a lot to a lot of people here in Ohio. It's a staple that everybody goes to here, especially here in Cincinnati, and I go to once a month, so it was cool seeing that.
That's awesome, man. And I really wanted to hear your take because I know that you fly around the United States to watch these movies in certain areas too. So that's really cool. Who do you want to pass the baton to next? Well, obviously, it's probably Flight or D, though.
Yeah, let's go D.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I love the movie. Superman is amazing. Right from so I've seen the little teasers and trailers that they've been putting out, and so what really got me into it, right in the beginning when he was in the snow and Krypto, came, and it just made it a little bit more human, in real life, because your dog doesn't know that you're hurt, right? I mean, it probably senses it, but just him like jumping on him and he's like, oh, like he's like battered and bruised, and Crypto is just like, I don't know if he's trying to play around. And then he finally like, grabs his cape and flies off. But I thought that was kind of funny. Like, this is what an actual dog would do in real life, just jump on you and lick you all over. um, but yeah, the movie was phenomenal. Kind of going with the same like sentiment with Hinano. There's been a lot of movies that have all these trailers and you're like so pumped for it and it looks really good. And then when you actually see the movie, it's like, okay, it wasn't as good as the trailers made it out to be. And so in a way, I was going in the movie like hoping that would be fantastic because I love DC, I love Superman, all those characters. So I went expecting it to be like, please, like, you're putting out all these trailers that are awesome. Please do not fail me and like disappoint me, because that'll just be like a bruise, to my ego of loving DC. But yeah, from the get go, it started off, kind of slower, but I love the pace and it picked up. And like one of the um, reasons I really loved it was they didn't just focus on Superman and all his powers and he's always saving the day and it's him who's like got the spotlight. I mean, we know he can do that, but to show more of the clumsy, tripping over your feet guy who's works at the newspaper place, and just him being human. And when like one of the parts I really loved was, or are we getting into that, like our favorite parts? I'm kind of like just going on already. Okay. One of my favorite parts, and there's a lot, is like when Lois is interviewing him, and she's like, yes, he's Superman, he does all these things, and because he's a good person with a good heart, and he wants to save people and be there for everyone in the world. But there's rules, there's laws, there's boundaries that you're supposed to follow because different countries, restrictions, all the treaties and pacts between countries. And so for him to just go out and save people, it's normal for him. But then looking at it from Lois's perspective, it's like, well, you can't just do that. You gotta ask for permission, so to speak. And he's like, well, people were gonna die. Like, who? If I waited to get approval from these people, like they could have died, and I wouldn't be able to save them. So for her to interview him, and he starts off calm, cool, and collected, and then she like they're like going back and forth in that scene, was like she was just like on it with him, like why this, why that, well how, like asking him these questions, and he's like trying to keep calm, but then you can see him building up, like getting frustrated, and you can see like his human emotions like gonna come out. And yeah, I thought that was like really phenomenal how they played that between the two of them.
And they work so well together. I thought they were really great together. She was a really good Lois Lane. I wasn't sure about her. So, sorry.
No.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Shae.
Oh no, I was just going to agree with Hinano that she was a great Lois Lane. And I thought she would be good. I was expecting her to be good because of her role in, was that show that she did, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? Because it was a period piece. So, yeah.
Okay. I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, we haven't. This is the first film I've seen that actress ever be in. So, yeah, so it was good.
Her in that. Watch it.
I mean,
We're
just
gonna have to go watch that.
from a filmmaking standpoint too, that scene is doing a lot more than just that dialogue. It's educating the audience in her skills as a reporter, and that she knows how to get under somebody's skin to get them to open up and give more than what they normally would. It shows how talented she is. But from a filmmaking standpoint and from post-production, the way that they start that scene, they're kind of wide shots, and then as it starts to go further along, then they're faster cuts, and then they move in closer to their faces, and so it becomes more intense as the dialogue becomes more intense. So it ramps up the intensity of that entire scene till there's a deflate at the end when he's like, all right, that's it, out. So yeah, it's a fantastic scene. I agree. I just
100%.
real quick, I want to go back to, yes, I'm so sorry I forgot to talk about Mr. Terrific. He is a super surprise in the movie. And my favorite scene, actually, and it's going to be silly, but is the garage door scene when he's she's like,
Yeah.
you got this amazing ship, and
I got to work on that.
couldn't get a faster garage door.
Yeah.
I'm working on that. It's great.
Guys, real quick, I want to go to Slider before we start getting a little bit more into this because he hasn't had a chance to speak yet. If you guys don't mind,
No, go
go
for
ahead,
it.
Slider.
What's your take, Slider?
Yeah, I was gonna say kind of how you guys were. When I first was watching it, I wasn't expecting that much, just because, like Hananu said, and other people, like DC. They've had some good stuff in the past that I enjoyed, but like the last movie I saw also was The Flash, and I didn't really like it that much. But this one kind of got you right when it started, like Superman bleeding. It kind of like brought me back to kind of like the death of Superman, like in the comic books. Back in the day where like he's vulnerable, and it just like what I kept getting throughout the whole movie is like, this is what Superman is supposed to be like. Like this is what Siegel and Schuster created him to be. Back in the day. When he started out, he was fighting for like the average person. He was saving people from muggers, and it just gave that like real perspective of like him not just fighting big bads. He's like actually like taking time out to like save a squirrel and things. So I mean, that I just think that James Gunn really got that part like throughout the whole movie. And I think one of my favorite parts of the movie is when like the rip in from the portal is like going towards Metropolis, and the building is getting ready to crash down on that woman in the car. And like you think she's going to get smashed, like you think she's done, and then all of a sudden Superman like goes under and stops the building, and then like she drives off, she gets out of there, and then she's looking back in the rearview mirror, and you just see him like blasting up through, and just the music playing and everything like that. Just like that's basically the whole movie for me, like in one scene. So yeah, I mean, I just really enjoyed the movie, and I think it was a great take on Superman.
Let's go.
Awesome. Yes.
So now that we're kind of talking about our favorite parts, that's exactly where I want to go into next. And so I'm going to start this off first because one of my favorite parts, and like I pretty much teared up throughout this whole movie from the beginning, from when he started flying for the first time and you hear that score. And depending on if you're a person that really loves scores, it's very haunting to people. And for me, it's like it gets me in my feels. And I'm with James Gunn on a movie is only as good as the music that you put into it. So he did a phenomenal job with this movie, and that score, even though it's remixed from the original, was just phenomenal. I literally downloaded the album after I watched that movie that day, and unfortunately, I had to like suscept my family to the entire score on the way home. So sorry, family. But my favorite part was the Kents. This brought back Smallville for me. Ma and Pa Kent. And I love the fact that he made them old. I love the fact that he made them loving parents. I mean, they already were loving parents, but depending on which version of Superman you see, either in TV, a lot of people, Superman is mostly TV. A lot of people, we're comic book readers, but not everybody. They read the comic books. So depending on which iteration of Superman you saw, he had no parents or the parents were there. I love the fact in this movie they're still there. I love the fact that they're loving parents, loving farmers. I love the fact that the dad's the softie and the mom is not, because that's my relation. That's me and Dee. I'm the softie in the relationship. I am Pa Kent. I'm the one that would be crying with my son there while Dee's like, he's fine. It's just a little cut up or something like that. That's me. I love this. I love the dynamic. I love the speech, even though what's his name? Pruitt, whoever the actor's name, but I love the speech that he did the next day where they're sitting on the porch. Clark's eating breakfast. He's with his dad. They have the hug. Even the hug itself, was awesome. And then the end of the scene where you get to see them play with him as a kid, as a baby. And most of you guys know, D and I, we have an 8-month to 9-month-old baby. And so we're going through that right now. So to see that was just beautiful. But I really enjoyed this scene where Lois flies Mr. Terrific's spaceship to the farm. She meets the parents for the first time. She walks into his punk rocker room and she sees the Smallville memorabilia. That hit me in the feels right there, because it's like I got the Smallville vibes. The farm was just beautiful. You got to see Krypto kind of like playing with the out in the grass, and this was one of my favorite parts. This entire scene right here made me freaking bawl. From when it started to when the middle part is where he's talking with his dad, to the very end where she's like, let me go grab your boots, and he's ready to go fly, right? I loved everything about this. This was one of my favorite scenes. What about you guys? I'm going to go to you, Slider.
Yeah, I think that was a great scene. Yeah, I really do like how they captured the parents. It kind of brought me like the Smallville kind of vibes with that whole thing. Like I said, I think like my favorite scene is probably that one where he's like blasting through the bridge and just like that iconic pose. But I mean there was a lot, like the scene also when like the little kid has like the Superman flag, and he's like raising it up and he's like Superman, and like you're just like Superman's not going to be there, because of what's going on in the movie. But like it just gets you. Like that was a great scene, and then you get like Green Lantern, what Guy Gardner shows up and he's like, boom, you got me this time. I just think, like I said, like James Gunn used humor really good in the movie. There was some parts where I think he used it a little bit, like I would have liked the drama to play out a little bit more, but like he really hit it with some of those scenes, so yeah, I would say those two are probably like my favorite that just really stick in my mind.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. When the kids were hoisting up the flag, I got chicken skin, and then like expecting him to come up, and you get Guy instead, and he's like, "Whoa, you got an upgrade anyway." So yeah, that's
this guy.
And his haircut. I mean, just yeah.
Nathan Fillion is just a phenomenal actor in anything he's in. I remember him as Mal from Firefly. So anyway,
I am from all my One Life to Live, a soap opera I used to watch with my mom. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Realize he's done that.
Yeah.
Shae, how about you go next?
Okay, I'm an action girly, so my favorite scene is when Lois Lane and Mr. Terrific head into the Pocket Universe to find Superman. I love that scene when he put that force field around her and all of his T-spheres just doing all this. Yeah, loved it. Yes. I even like poked my husband. I was like, "This is my favorite part."
With the song playing in the background,
right?
Yeah.
You up? Yeah, loved it. And then also, of course, towards the end when Superman is just like crushing it, and yeah, that's my favorite. Absolute favorite. It was just so slick, really fast paced, and just wild. I think also I saw it in 4DX. So if you don't know what that is, it's with motion, it's 3D, you got wind blowing in your face. So any like high impact, high action scenes were like on steroids for me because of all that stuff going on. So that's my favorite scene.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I remember that scene. I love that scene. And like, I gotta say, because what's his face? What was his name? Curtis Holt, I believe. I remember him from Arrow, or at least the actor that played him. And what I never understood was how he turned from Mr. Terrific to Curtis Holt so fast with his cornrows. If you know what I'm talking about, right? If you watch Arrow, have you guys ever seen him?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Terrific was on Arrow, and he was part of the Arrow team, but he would always turn into Mr. Terrific, but I always wondered how, because he had cornrows. How did he get the cornrows on and then off really within seconds, right? Like, anyways, it's just an observation.
Superpowers.
Yeah.
Just go with it.
We're just going to go with it. All right. Kristopher, go ahead.
Yes. So I would have to say, guys, my favorite scene was there at the end when they're in, Luthor Corp, and Superman and Crypto come flying through because Lex is about to go through the portal, and then as soon as Lex tries to go for Superman, dude, Crypto just eats him alive. That was a great scene. Probably my favorite scene was when Mr. Terrific just came in at the end of the day. When he said, "I don't need your help. I'm goddamn Mr. Terrific." He goes in and everyone's clapping, and I just had a great time. And Hinanu, the score, yes, was brilliant.
Yes.
I would have to say 5 out of those times I went in Dolby to watch that, and that is just really enhanced sound. They really dialed it in. My theater actually turned up the amps a little bit, so it was just those strings.
Oh,
When you heard those strings, man, I play the violin, and when you hear those strings, like every hair on my head was like just sticking up.
Yeah.
I loved it so
You
much.
get those goosebumps. Was it the David Fleming theme? Because there's actually 2 themes. As my understanding, John Murphy was scoring the movie, but he got booted out, and then David Fleming finished the entire. In fact, most of the score is all David Fleming, and so you can hear 2 different scores, right? You can hear the one where it's like just a solid electric guitar. That's John Murphy. If you guys ever watch Social Network, or like he's in a lot of Danny Boyle films. He's got a really distinctive sound. But David Fleming, he really took John Murphy's score and he kind of made it a little bit more intimate. Like he still used the electric guitar, but it wasn't so hard hitting, and I really enjoyed it. And that's what really hit me in the feels. So just want to add that. Anyway, anything you want to add, Kristopher?
Oh yes. Let me just kind of go off the side here.
Oh, he's gonna show us something, guys.
What we got?
What I like here
blow you up here.
This is awesome. Let's open it up for the first time. I got like 2 other ones, but we have this awesome Superman popcorn bucket, right? This is probably the best one. I know Cinemark has one, which like Superman's like on like he's like in a popcorn machine, and it's like cracked. But this one by far is the best one. Like it's just so cool. You just like open this.
It opens.
What?
Oh, cool!
Look, you got crypto inside.
It comes out. You can put like different stuff in here if you want to. So this comes out.
Oh, that's rad.
Oh, that's so cool.
And these popcorn buckets are just getting better and better and better. Like people don't realize this, but like these don't stay on the shelf very long, and then they're out on eBay for like triple the price. So
yeah, wow.
If you can, try to get 1 or 2 of these if you like them. They were
Where'd you get them from?
So I got it at AMC. So AMC has these buckets exclusively. So I know you can go onto their merch site too as well and order that. But I don't know. I kind of want to get some of these sealed. I don't know. I kind of want to get some signed by some directors. That would be awesome. And start with signed, maybe digital. I don't know. Who knows?
That was awesome, man. Thanks for sharing.
Oh yeah.
How many did you buy of those?
Yeah,
like
how many you
40?
got?
40?
So
Yes.
I bought 5 of them. So.
Oh.
So next, my biggest thing right now is I'm trying to plan on how I'm going to get that Galactus bucket. I have like everybody and their brother trying to like DM me on X, emailing me, they're texting me just out of nowhere. Are you going to get that bucket? There's not going to be many of those. I think everyone in my area, I think total is going to get about 12 of them. So.
Man, you're like the Mahalo Joe of buckets.
Oh, sold out.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Oh, you went to try to buy one?
It sold out?
Yeah, sold out on the website.
Oh, shoot.
It's
Okay,
a hot
next time.
Yeah.
Before we go to Shane, guys, I want everyone to understand real quick. We are running a giveaway right now. If you want to win something in chat, type in hashtag Summer of Superman. Shae and Candy Digital, they were nice enough to provide 3 giveaways tonight for you folks in the chat. So shout out to Candy Digital as well as Shae Byron. And then also Slider is also donating a giveaway as well, which I believe is a rollover from another Candy Digital giveaway. So we have 4 giveaways that will be done at the chats. Now, guys, here's what's the cool thing about these giveaways. I'm also going to be giving away. Let me blow this up real quick. All right. So I have a Clayton Crane 1 in 50 right here in the comic capsule right here. Okay. Absolute Superman #1. Whoever wins that has a bat cowl first. So what I'm saying is we got 4 giveaways, right? So if the first person wins and they got a bat cowl, they get to have this comic. If they don't have a bat cowl, it goes over to the next one. And if they don't have it, it goes over to the next one, and so on. And if by some chance those 4 people don't have a bat cowl, I will do this giveaway on X for a bat cowl. Now, this is coming from me, from my PC. This is not through media. This is from me personally. So thank you, everyone, for watching the stream. And like I said again, if you win, one of the 4 that win, and you have a bat cowl first, you get to take this home. International Lives Matter. Let's go.
Sweet.
All right.
Awesome.
Shane, go ahead.
Oh, me?
No, I was saying Shane.
I mean,
It
always
synonymous, you guys.
Shae without the F.
SNS.
I know, right? Well, real quick, Comic Guy was nice enough. If you see in the chats, McFarlane's also going to do a giveaway.
What?
Wait, what?
Go,
Yes.
guys! I have a graphic for that too. Let's go.
It's got a graphic for everything.
Shout out to McFarlane Toys and Candy Digital. We have a lot of giveaways tonight, guys. So there are 5 giveaways now.
Wow. That's cool. Thank you, Shae.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. And shout out to the comic guy as well. We got to meet him in Vegas, and I can't wait to see you guys again.
Yes.
Shane, favorite part of the movie?
I'm actually going to go probably with an obscure scene that most people probably wouldn't select. But for me, I don't know why it resonated with me. Number 1 is I really, really like the film Cabin in the Woods. If for those of you who have seen it, I really like horror films. And this scene just had all the Cabin in the Wood vibes. It's the scene with Metamorpho when he's trapped in the cell with Metamorpho, and we get to introduce that character. And it came as a surprise to me, so it was fun to see that character. They did it in a really unique way. I don't know really anything about Metamorpho, and that scene just showed, number 1, how emotional he is and how he's connected and torn, about doing the right thing and protecting he was going through a lot of the same kind of stuff that Superman was going through, like torn, like I have to protect this child that I care about, but I don't want to hurt this person. I'm trying to do the right thing. And it also showed how incredibly powerful Metamorpho is. Like, he can create a sun. I had no idea that he had that kind of power, and that he could basically defeat Superman, because I never realized he can create kryptonite. So he is a formidable superhero. And then that scene at the end when he's walking next to Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner, and he's like, that guy? No, he's not going to be in our Justice Gang. And he goes, Justice Gang? That's a cool name. And Guy Gardner, okay, you're in. I laughed. I literally laughed out loud in the movie theater when that came on, because it just was so Guy Gardner, and just and it just felt like Metamorpho was just regular kind of simple, he's just a dad, and I kind of fell in love with that character in that scene.
And can we say accurate for this guy? Because I thought he was pretty good for who he was in the movie. And I thought it depicted him very well from the comic books right here. Sorry to cut you off, Shane.
No, it's all good. Yeah. I thought he was just a great addition. And the whole running gag with the Justice Gang and him trying to make it happen was hilarious. And then the 1970s Justice League, Legion, superhero, Super Friends, whatever, TV
JLA?
show. Yeah, the JLA. And so it was the actual from that cartoon was great. So so many great things. And I love that James Gunn was able to give every one of those characters a moment. Guy walking through and flipping up the tanks with the middle finger, and obviously that scene with Mr. Terrific, like you mentioned, Shae, with the protection sphere and him just kicking everybody's butt just easily on the outside. And then even with Hawkgirl, just her moment of flying out with that guy and him going, you would never do that. You're a superhero. You can't do that. And Superman wouldn't do that. And she goes, I'm not Superman. Boop. And it's so I thought all of that was great. So that was my scene, is the scene with Metamorpho and Superman in the prison.
And may I say, you're 100% right. That has the cabin in the woods vibes, because at the very end of that movie, you see that maze of like, cages or whatever, right? And that, huh? It makes you think, huh? Shoot. D, go ahead.
One of my other favorite scenes was when he's in that pocket universe, Superman, when he's in that pocket universe and he um, escapes, right? Or he doesn't. Well, yeah, he breaks out because Metamorpho. He does his thing. He breaks out and gets the freaking alien baby, and then they're trying to like go back out the way they came from, and then he gets he's holding the baby, he's battling, right? He's like fighting. Then he lands in the anti-proton river and he's like going into the black hole and he's like fighting, holding the baby, and then Crypto is like
That's a
he's like
feat.
squirrel, like he's like eating up all the spears. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that's like what a dad would do too, like a protector, like even though you've got so much things that you're trying to like handle, you're still like save the baby. So I thought that was like such a really cool scene to see. And then they don't end up in the black hole and they go and they're able to escape. But for me that was another like epic scene for me. I don't know, just the whole movie is just epic. And another one was when kind of earlier on in the movie when Superman flies back to his home, and Lois is already there, and they're like talking, and then you see outside the window the Justice Gang, they're fighting that star shaped thing. I
The
forget what it's
eyeball
called.
or something, right?
Yeah. And it's like so funny. There's this whole fight scene going on, but then like in that moment, in that small space of theirs, it's like only they matter kind of thing. With their dialogue going back and forth. But I just thought that was kind of like something like, so they're having like a heart to heart talk, and then there's like craziness on the other side of the window. So I thought that was like a really cool like contrast. I don't know. That's one of my other favorite scenes. So, next person before I say
Well,
all my scenes.
no. I wanna go back to the scene because I think that scene has more to offer than just that. And I 100% agree. And what I love about that scene is where like I believe that's the scene where he tells her I love you. I think that's the scene.
Yes.
Mhm.
But what I think Gunn is doing there, he's establishing that Superman can't be everywhere. And the reason why I say that is if you watch all these other movies, you ever wonder where the rest of the other characters are in the DC universe whenever there's a calamity going on, right? And it's like, well, the Flash had this thing going on. Where was Superman, right? Or, or Black Adam, right? Where was Superman? Well, Gunn is establishing that Superman doesn't necessarily need to be there all the time. I mean, it's literally happening outside the window. He's there, right? And he's not going to do nothing because he's like, they got it, right? I don't have to always be there. And I think by Gunn establishing something like that, then we don't necessarily always have to have that question, well, where's everyone else? He's establishing is everyone else can't always be there all the time. So this is who you got. And for that specific instance, they had the Justice Gang. So I think that's what was really going on there, besides also that tender moment. And Shane's 100%, Shane and Shae, but Shane specifically, which call you Video Shane. I think Gunn has hidden messages in this entire movie shaping his universe, because that man's got a hard feat, right? Because a lot of people really love Zack Snyder and they love that darker, grittier tone. I enjoyed it too, just because it was different. That's another thing I really loved about this movie, because it was a stark contrast from the other one. And the team here at True Media, they know I love it when we do different things and it's not the same. And that's what I felt like with this movie. It's like, whoa, this was not what I was expecting. It's a lot more heartfelt. People were like equating it to like Batman and Robin, and I don't see that at all. But I can understand why they would say that. But anyways, just wanted to bring that up. And so now the one thing I want to talk about, and I'm looking at the time, guys, and being mindful, is I want to go through these characters and I want your guys' take on them. So David Cornsweet, he's the new Superman. He is our Superman, and I'm going to say it right now, and I'm not afraid to say this. He is now my Superman. Honestly, Tom Welling will always be my Superman for the one that started for me specifically because he's had the longest run. And that's why I guess I really resonate a lot with this movie because this brings back the Smallville, right? To me, I'm looking at Smallville here. I feel like for me, this Superman is just Clark Kent with a cape for me. And I like that. I like the vulnerable Superman. I like the Superman that saves the squirrels. I like the Superman that doesn't want you to swear. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, what the hey, dude, right? He tells the dog this and that. I like the fact that this is the Superman that regardless if the dog's irritating, I'm still going to love and watch this dog because we find out at the end it's not really his dog, right? So that's what I really loved about this guy. I love that he's all about his family. I love that because obviously, we see Millie Alcock at the very end and she looks like she's a mess. And I love the fact that she's a mess because I think everybody looks at Supergirl as what's her name? Laura Vandervoort. When Laura Vandervoort came to Smallville, she was a nice Supergirl. Supergirl's supposed to be a little bit sassy, but so I think from there on, and then you had Melissa Benoist. She was also really nice too. So I like the fact they're going to go to a bad girl. It's my understanding they're going to follow the what is that? Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, I believe, that comic. I've never read that comic, but I know what goes on in that comic. So if you're an animal lover, well, hopefully they don't follow it T to T. So anyways, I really like this guy. I wasn't sure about him, his low tone voice. The last movie I saw him in was Twisters, and I didn't even catch this where they called him Superman in that movie, and it didn't really click to me. But he was named that for a minute. But I wasn't sure if I was going to like him because of his voice. I fell in love with this guy. He's my Superman. What do you think about this guy, Shae?
I also fell in love with him. I feel like you're right. The vulnerability, the kindness, the good-heartedness that he carries, I love that about him. My original Superman, and I'm gonna share. I'm telling you, my age is showing here, but it is Kristopher Reeve for me because because he was my introduction to the superhero genre. That was my very first superhero movie as a kid was Superman. And I feel like every girl was in love with him. I mean, Kristopher Reeve, handsome. He was smart, caring, loving. All of the vulnerability also with him, and I think that this Superman does the same for me. I feel like I love the way that he portrayed this character really, really well.
I agree. I know you haven't had a chance to go Slider or Kristopher.
Let's go with Slider.
Yeah, I'll jump in real quick. I was gonna say that yeah, he really reminds me of Kristopher Reeves also, because like that's really the Superman that was my first introduction to Superman. And that was when I really loved DC, was back then when you had Superman and Michael Keaton as Batman and that time period. So this really brings me back to that. And I think he plays one of the best Clark Kents also, compared to some of the other ones. Just his mannerisms and I wish we could have seen a little bit more of that. But yeah, I mean, I think he really nailed the part. And like I said, I really like that they're bringing it back to where he can actually just save a squirrel, or just save the average person, while he's fighting the bad guys. And that's something we haven't seen in a while. And yeah, that really resonates with me. So yeah, I really enjoyed the movie, and that was a big part.
That's awesome. What about you, Kristopher?
Yeah, just kind of reiterate. Yeah, he was great. Couldn't ask for a better man for the role, especially given the times, back then, shooting films and stuff back during the writer and actor strikes was kind of a little difficult. But James Gunn was still able to get everybody together and pull it off and, make it all work together. And it showed it, and it's showing in the box office, and I'm loving it, and everyone's loving it. And like I said,
Yeah.
Probably one of the better ones, I gotta say. Superman is, I mean, Smallville was what I grew up with, but with Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor, I think Nicholas Hoult killed this role. He probably was one of the better villains within this last decade, I would say, who pulled off that powerful role.
Agree.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think like I kind of have the same sentiment as you guys with yeah, Christopher Reeve was my first introduction to Superman when I moved to Hawaii. So he's always been like yeah, my starting up Superman. And then when I got older, along with you guys and a lot of people, we watched Smallville. So I grew up with Tom Welling as well. And I also enjoyed a few other Supermans, but this guy, yeah, he played it really well. It's something to like when we were so used to Henry Cavill, being the Superman because he was the previous one, and then for me personally, like I don't know how I'm gonna react like when someone says, "Oh, he's gonna be the next Superman," and because I hadn't seen him acting in a lot of movies, I'm like, you don't know what to expect. Whether they're gonna play it really well or just be like, he's okay. But yeah, he really like embraced his role and he did a phenomenal job. Yeah, very happy with this guy, and he's also a new favorite of mine. So yeah, bring the trunks back. Is there another character you wanted to cover, Hinano?
Did Shane go?
No, I didn't get a chance to go.
Oh, I'm sorry, Shane. Video Shane, go ahead.
It's all good. I'm gonna follow pretty much what everybody else said. I mean, I grew up with Christopher Reeve, so that's my Superman. But and Henry did the best job he could, I think, with the material. The other thing I say about Henry Cavill is everything I've ever read about him and interview I've ever seen with him, he just seems like just a generally cool person. He's a comic book nerd like most of us, and yet has the physique of a Greek god. He their take on it was more Zack Snyder's take than his take. He was working with the material he's provided, and unfortunately for me, that's the kind of Superman that makes me not like that character, is that he played it like he was a god and like nothing could impact him. Like even when Flash was running around him, just the side eye of like, none of this means anything to me, and I can't be hurt by any of it. So for me, it would go Christopher Reeve, then this Superman for me. And then I don't know what the list would look like after that. But the thing that's interesting about this Superman to me is that I'd almost say he's like super young man, because he's got that youthful face and he's still like boyish charm about him. And I felt like Christopher Reeve was more like, I don't want to use the term adult, but like he felt a little older than this guy does, which is good because as these films come out, he can grow into that role. And, maybe that's James Gunn's long-term vision, is that we're going to see all this trauma that he's going to end up enduring over, 4 or 5 films or however long it lasts. And then, he'll end up being a little more jaded towards the end. Maybe that's where it's going to go. And that's a great long-term character arc for that character, is to realize, right now he's got this wide-eyed view of everybody's beautiful, and maybe by Superman 5 he's like, there's some jackasses in the world,
or there's some trauma that happens. I mean, I'm gonna say, Paul Kent don't look too good in the movie, but I'm just saying, right? Like, and I know Gunn will hit you in the jugular without you knowing.
Yeah.
And so, and that's what I'm saying. Watch the dog. But, but yeah, man. Like, regardless, I think of like whose Superman is whose, and yes, Matt Reeves was the first Superman, but I never really got into Superman till I watched Tom Welling's, and I know it's a CW thing, right? But like, it's just something that was always on. And I just kept watching it for like 11 seasons. And so that's why I was so enamored with the character. But that character, the vulnerable character. And that's why I was happy with seeing Tom Wellings don the suit once, because we already know where he was. Now he became the super part, right? And that's why this kind of reminded me of Smallville. But I want to move on to Lois Lane, because I got to tell you, I'm not a fan of a lot of the Lois Lanes in the past. Margot was okay. I was not a fan of Kate Bosworth. I thought she was very emotionless. And I don't know what's her name is in Superman and Lois, but she really had like cock eyes, and I wasn't really a fan of her either. So Erica Durance has always been my Lois Lane. Again, Smallville, because she was more of the Tom girl, right? But she was like, a little bit more husky. She wasn't afraid to get things done, get her hands dirty. She wasn't as vulnerable as most. I think I don't remember the actress that was in the Zack Snyder universe, but I wasn't really a fan of her either. I felt like she was very vulnerable. But this Lois Lane, you can tell that she's very, very charismatic. She's resourceful. She's a go-getter. She's not afraid to jump in, whether she likes it or not. And that's the type of Lois Lane. She's not afraid for to basically go head to head on with somebody, jump into the fire, jump into a freaking multiverse. And I really enjoyed this character so much. And I think she's my second favorite Lois Lane. I can say that very confidently. What about you, Shane? Shane, not Shae.
I 100% agree with you. I think that, she shows throughout the film that she is a very strong character. Even when she's standing with the Justice Gang, and they're like, "Nah, we don't want to be part of that," and she goes, "Well, I'm just going to do it myself then." And she has no problem, wanting to go into a battle, with superpowered beings that she has no business doing, but she's willing to do it. And, like we talked about earlier, that scene with her and Clark when they're having the interview just shows her strength. We haven't talked about another really fun aspect of the film I just wanted to throw out there was this. It's just kind of corny, but I don't know. It just really made me laugh. Was this the sex appeal of Jimmy Olsen? So funny to me. Like the girls over on the other side of the room, like ogling over him, and I'm like, it's Jimmy Olsen. But and then even Lois is like, how are you doing this?
He doesn't even know how he's doing it.
It was so great. That was so funny. I thought that was a really fun aspect of the character.
That was a funny part.
Go ahead, Kristopher. Oh, you muted, my friend.
You muted.
Or your mic's not working.
Yes, the banter between her and Superman it was just great. I enjoyed like every second of it. Just like her overall like expressions, like acting, like in the scene, like when Mr. Terrific is just going around with all the T-spheres, and she's kind of like looking around, like that was impressive, man. For really not looking at anything. She really pulled it off. Every scene really put her heart into it, and you really felt that in every scene, whether it was action or whether it was just, like I said, one of the more of those romantic scenes bringing it in. So I enjoyed her. And actually, there were some people there too as well after the movie when the credits were rolling. Like they were like, I was kind of like looking around, and like there were people on IMDb like looking her up. They were looking at different television shows that she was in, different movies that she was in, and they were just really enamored by her acting, and I enjoyed that. So.
Nice. Shae.
So I have to say she is my hands down my most favorite Lois Lane, because if you see her on Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, you'll see why. Her personality, she was perfectly cast for this type of Lois Lane. She was a very strong character, very independent, very resourceful. And when she flew Mr. Terrific's, what is this plane called? Whatever it's called.
Terrific Mobile.
She just, like, I don't know how to do this, but I'm just going to go for it. And that, she's ballsy. I like that. That's how she is with her Marvelous Mrs. Maisel character. It's a period piece. I think it's like in the 1930s, 1940s. But it feels very modern because of her personality. And you'll see why. She's a stand-up comedian in that show.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. It's so good. You guys have to see it. And once you see it, you're like, yeah, I can see why she was cast as Lois Lane. You'll see what you got to watch at least one. Watch the first episode, and right away you'll see what I mean.
We're gonna put it on the playlist. That's for sure, right
Great.
there. Slider.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on the Lois Lane. Probably my first is Smallville, because that's one of the ones that I don't know, really resonated with me. But this one is definitely a close second, and she definitely has that like go getter kind of attitude, and she's not going to take anything. But I like the dynamic between her and Superman. Just like how she challenges him, and even like when she goes to the Justice Gang, and she's like, "Hey, are we going to get him out?" And they're like, "No," and she's going back and forth with Guy Gardner, and then she's like, when Guy Gardner says like, "Do you know who he is?" and she's like, "Yes," and he's like, "Oh yeah, so you do know he's Clark Kent Superman." She's like, what is wrong with him?" She's like, he is so trusting, and she's like, "What's wrong with you guys?" It's just like she's really good in the part, and yeah, I just like the dynamic that she has with the whole cast. So yeah, I'm really excited to see more from all of them together. I think they worked. I think they had they worked really well together. So yep.
And the beautiful part is it's like the beginning of their relationship, right? They've only been dating for like what, 3 months or something like that. So
Yeah.
and so that goes to your point, Shane. It's a younger Superman. We get to see them when they first start meet, and so it's a beautiful thing. D, close it off.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check out that movie, Shae. Because I wasn't familiar with her, but yeah, she did a really great job, and I think because like her go-getterness, her go-getter spirit, like she's like so independent, and I
She's
think because
spunky.
of yeah, um that's what makes her like, she's very independent and likes to just kind of like go pretty much like oh, what is the saying, like your head first, like without even like thinking about it. I don't know what the term is. But she just goes and like just tackles if there's a problem. She just wants to go for it, whether or not she knows what to do. She's like, someone needs to do something. You guys aren't gonna help me. Well, I'm gonna go do it on my own. And that gets her in trouble sometimes, like even at her workplace when she wants to work on this piece, and because it is important, but she's assigned something else that she really doesn't want to cover. But I really love her fierce spirit, and probably because of what she's experienced in her life, to where she's also like even though she loves or wants to love people, she still has like that she also is like kind of in a way like protecting herself, because she really doesn't want to get hurt, but at the same time she doesn't want to see other people get hurt. But yeah, she played it really well. I just love all the lines that she had with all the other actors in the movie, and yeah, she's a go-getter. So she's yeah, I'm really liking her as an actor. So I'm gonna have to go check out more of her acting skills in other movies and shows.
She is our Lois Lane. Now, guys, I got 3 more slides, and then I'm going to just open up to you guys, and then we'll do the giveaways, and then we're going to get out of here. But I want to talk about the new Lex Luthor. And something I really noticed is it's not Lex Corp, it's Luthor Corp. So does that mean that Papa Luthor is still around? Because I don't remember Luthor Corp a lot in the past, but I remember it in the Smallville days. And that is my Lex Luthor, is Michael Rosenbaum. I thought he played Lex Luthor to perfection. In fact, I really wish somehow we could see him as a variant come back, because I thought he was super maniacal. He walked and talked the part. But what I really loved about the Smallville version is there was that friend dynamic. Now, obviously, in this one, it's completely different. And so Nicholas Holt, he reminds me of a suit I've dealt with before in my profession. I'm in communications, and some like a very snarky dickhead businessman. That's exactly who this guy is. And you know who I'm talking about. I don't want to name the guy, but yeah. There's a guy I deal with, bald like this guy too, and young.
Mhm.
But that's who you remind me of, a very cocky young CEO. And I thought he played the part very perfectionistly. Look, I can't even say anything, Shane. I thought the 1As and 1Bs, when Ultraman was punching out Superman, and I did see a comment in there. It is weird that Superman couldn't tell that it was himself behind that suit, but plot holes. But I really liked his portrayal. I wasn't a fan of is it Jesse Eisenberg who played the last Lex Luthor? I hated it. I couldn't stand his portrayal. I didn't even like the Superman and Lois Lex Luthor. I wasn't a fan of him either. So I think the last good Lex Luthor to me, besides Michael Rosenbaum, had to be Kevin Spacey in Superman
Mm.
Returns. I thought he did a pretty good job in that one too. But yeah, I really like what Nicholas Holt's doing. I like that he acted like some greedy rich kid. It blew my mind when he blew the guy's brains out right there. I'm like, okay, so this
Oh
is the
yeah.
type of Lex Luthor we're dealing with. He's crazy and maniacal. He doesn't mind blowing up the whole world just for spite. And that's who we got. Slider, we're gonna go with you, and we're gonna go down the line. What did you think of the new Lex Luthor?
All right, yeah, I mean, I think he did a pretty good job with it. I would say out of all of them, he's probably one of the characters. I mean, if I had to rank him, I would say like he was kind of lower on my tier, just because like I'm with you. Like Michael Rosenbaum is like the Lex Luthor that I really like enjoyed his portrayal of the most. And then I would say also Kevin Spacey, I think, did a really great job.
Mhm.
But I mean, like I said, I mean, I think he does a good job in this movie, and he has some good parts. But I don't know, it's just there's something about it where it's like it's just a different kind of portrayal of Lex Luthor. So but like I said, I did enjoy it, and I mean, I think he did a really good job. So, but I would say those other two are probably higher on my list, and just I mean, just Michael Rosenbaum's. I just think that's like what I'm measuring him up to, and like I just really loved him as Lex Luthor. So yeah.
Yeah, I know how you feel, man. It's kind of like when Michael Rosenbaum played the part, he set a bar, and it's kind of hard to like surpass
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Mhm.
yeah, I feel you. Shay, what'd you think of this new Lex Luthor?
I thought he was really sharp and really intelligent, so I really like that aspect about him. I can't really say how I would compare him to the others, um, because I don't really have an opinion of the character, but I do like how sharp he was and just how on top of things he was. Um, I think, and then I've been watching a lot of TikToks too of of them just doing like I guess they were like their marketing team put these TikToks together for them, and I just see the more personable part of him. So I think that he is able to really do this character very well because knowing and seeing who is normal, how his normal persona is, I can see how much he put a lot into this character. So I really liked seeing the dynamic between him and between Superman, and I thought he did a really great job.
Mhm.
Let's go, Kristopher.
Yeah, I think that he did. I think he did a pretty good job. Um, I comparison to Michael Rosenbaum, I think it is very close. Just like one scene like in there that I really liked when Superman was flying in, he was very frustrated and angry because Crypto was gone, and then like he just gets up in his face and he's like, "Where's my dog?" And he's like, "What dog? You're talking about?"
Yeah.
I didn't say anything. Like it just like the fact that he was just he had the perfect elements of a perfect villain that you would expect from that story. And I think I guess I watched so many things, I didn't really see him in anything else that I at least noticed. So I mean, after the movie, I was researching things about him, and I was like, okay, he's been in this stuff, he's been in that. Okay, great. Like he just kind of took it
He's a
away. Probably
beast.
not as a whole, but there were some bits and pieces there and some scenes that I was taken away by the acting that he did. So,
What about you, Shane?
Yeah, I mean, I really loved his portrayal. I felt like it was a really nice mix of a kind of spoiled rich kid almost, and I've worked with corporate executives who are that way, that feel like they need to be a jerk in order to lead a team, and it just shows that he's definitely not a leader. I also really liked the interesting use of a team that he's working with. Most of the other films have just been him by himself. So I thought this was interesting that he has to utilize an entire team to accomplish his goals, because he doesn't have any super abilities. And I thought it was really clever that essentially he's got a team of video game addicts in the room, and he's calling out, secret codes for, uppercut punch and,
One
and
A.
all. Yeah, right. 1A, 1B. And so I really liked all of that. One thing I do want to throw out, and this is just a theory, and a good friend of mine shared this thought with me, and I think it's really interesting. So I'll just put this out there. He doesn't think, and now that he told me this, I don't think this is the last we'll see of that Ultraman character. His theory is that he may come back as Bizarro
Yes.
Superman, because he's not so bright, right? And he'll be gone for a while, and he could come back as that character, which I think is really interesting. So yeah. Anyway, so yes, I really like this. Is this my favorite Lex Luthor?
Is it?
Yeah, it's hard because historic. When you add all the historical stuff, and I grew up with Gene Hackman.
He did it
Lex
good.
Luthor, but I really, really like his performance. He was also one of the warriors in Mad Max. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy that spray paints his.
He spray paints
his
his
face,
face,
yeah,
right?
his
Yeah.
face, yeah.
Valhalla.
Yeah. So to come
He's also
from that,
Beast from X-Men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So he's got a wide range. He's a very talented actor for sure. So yeah. I did like this guy.
He was also in Skins. It's
Yes,
not for
that was
the
a good
faint of
show.
heart.
Add that to your list, Shae. Skins.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
D, close it off, and then we got 2 more slides, and then I'm going to open up to the panel.
So when I think of Lex Luthor, one word that comes to mind is calculating, because he may seem so polished and so nice in front of your face, but like in his mind, he's like scheming, something, and most especially, regarding Superman. But I like I agree with Shane on, how he has like a team of gamers, and they made it like really like modern, because that's what a lot of people are doing nowadays, or just like online. And like Superman was like surprised when he was fighting Ultraman, and he was surprised like, why can't you can see in his face like, why is this guy like hitting me, or this thing hitting me? Is because Lex has been studying and learning all of these moves, and now he's like in a way using it against him. So yeah, he played a really good part in his character, and yeah, like I said, he's just a very calculating guy, with lots of money, to be able to have that technology to do something to try and beat Superman. So for him, I know he's played in other movies that I've seen as well, but I'm really happy to see him cross over from Marvel to DC. That's really cool.
Yes.
What I gotta say about this Lex Luthor, but yes, Michael is phenomenal in Smallville, and he'll always check out his podcast, Inside of You. He's awesome.
There you go, guys.
Yeah. But I enjoyed this Lex Luthor as well.
All right. So I want to talk about the Justice Gang right here, because we are so used to the Justice League. I'm really happy that he brought these guys in, and this isn't Hal Jordan. I'm so happy he brought Guy Gardner in. When I first heard Guy Gardner was going to this movie, I'm like, this is going to be great, because finally we're going to get the lantern no one wants to show up, right? You know what I mean? And I love how Nathan Fillion really portrays his character. He's like, the Green Lantern Corps, like, whenever there's something bad going on, you call a lantern. But what if you got the call and you're like, well, sir, we don't have anyone available other than Guy Gardner. That's my character, right? And so it's like, and so I really enjoy anything that Nathan Fillion's in. And so when I heard at first I thought he was going to play Booster Gold, but when I found out Guy Gardner, that this is perfect with the rice bowl haircut. I love that Lois teases the haircut. I love that he's just very brash. He's kind of a jerk. I love that little comment he made with the kid. He's like, hey, kid, Superman couldn't make it, but that's okay. You've got an upgrade. And he starts beating everyone up. And so I really enjoyed him. I want to see more of the Justice Gang. I thought Hawkgirl was phenomenal. She's doing what she's supposed to do in the comic, guys. She's supposed to squawk. You know what I mean? Whenever she does her action stuff, she's supposed to roar. That's what she does. And then Mr. Terrific was just phenomenal. Not even terrific. He was phenomenal. I love the actor who plays him. He also plays an Elon Musk type of character in the TV show For All Mankind. He's their Elon Musk in that TV show. And so to see this guy with this much range play Mr. Terrific, let alone see a better Mr. Terrific on screen than versus the TV one on the Arrowverse, he was great. I thought he had, and I didn't realize we are going to have so much of him. He was in the film a lot, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
From the funny scene where he had the garage door to where he's like fighting everyone, at that little encampment before they're going into the boom tube, and then just the whole thing in general at the very end where he's like, well, what do you want me to do? Where they're looking at the crack.
Oh, yeah.
You want me to take it apart and put it back together? You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, I'm sorry, man. It's like start kicking rocks. It's like, I enjoyed that. Or, he was really good. So, I really want to see more of these guys. I think Guy, Terrific, and Hawkgirl did great. And I can't wait to see more of them. Slider, what's your take?
Yeah, I think that Guy Gardner was great, how he brought him in. And I think he did an amazing job playing Guy Gardner because, this is how you would want him to be played. That kind of brash, like, just kind of a jerk, but, still kind of has a heart. And, like, the thing is that, like, I think James Gunn is really doing a lot of like world building, like in the background, because like even when they go into the scene where they're in the Justice Gang's area, when they have that mural on the wall, like, it's got like, if you watch some clips where they like freeze it and stuff, like you can see like James Gunn's giving hints to like all these other characters, in the past 300 years, who have been, doing this, and maybe they're gonna form the Justice League later, but I think like the Lantern Corps is gonna be coming, and I can't wait for that. Hal Jordan, Stewart, like I just think like I think there's gonna be a pretty big world coming, and I think that Superman was the movie to really like kick it off. Yeah, and Hawkgirl with that scream, like that's definitely like comic book accurate and everything. So yeah, it's great. Like everything, like he did a really amazing job with the casting with this movie. So yeah,
100%. Shae, your take?
I totally agree. Wonderful job with the casting. I kind of wish Hawkgirl got more airtime. I wanted to see her more. I loved the comic relief that Guy Gardner provided. I feel like that was his key role. Loved it. Even the bowl haircut from the get-go. But Mr. Terrific, hands down. Okay, on top of after Superman, I would say Mr. Terrific is my number one most favorite side character, if you will. And he wasn't even just a side character because he had a very big role. I loved everything about him. I loved his cool, calm, and collected personality. I loved his tech. I loved how intelligent he was and how he was just like, let me take care of this. I can close up that pocket universe. So I love that about him. I loved all of his gadgets. I think that's out of all the side characters, he is my top.
And you know what's so cool about what you're saying here is like, because these guys never really got a lot of love in the comic world, or at least, when you're walking, or at least for me, when I'm walking by a DC stand, I'm looking at Action Comics, or I'm looking at Batman, right? I never really want to pick up a Hawkgirl or Mr. Terrific or a guy. I don't even know if Guy Gardner has his own comics anymore, but having said that, these characters now are going to become more famous. They're going to be wanted. People are going to want their collectibles. Honestly, I actually looked at a Guy Gardner before we got on the street. No joke, a McFarlane Toys digital Guy Gardner. So I want to pick these guys up. I've been picking up all the covers on Candy just because of this movie, right? And other people are going to do the same. You're going to have kids going to fall in love with Mr. Terrific throughout the years of seeing him. Hawk Girl's going to become a name. Guy Gardner is going to become a name, maybe even bigger than Hal Jordan. You never know. And that's what I love about what James Gunn does, because he did the same thing with the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Nobody really knew who they were until James Gunn put his hands on it. And now the Justice Gang reminds me of those guys, the Guardians of the Galaxy, even Metamorpho. People don't know who the guy is, right? But now they know who Metamorpho is. And so people are going to grow up with these characters and they're going to get to know them more. And maybe they're going to be more loved. Kristopher.
Yeah. I mean, I really liked him in there. I liked him and Mr. Terrific and Superman, and just kind of between all the three, I feel like got ample time between the different like fight scenes, and you really got to know them at least a little bit with all that was going on. But yeah, perfect man for the role. I mean, just had some nice witty lines in there, some little one-liners. People were just eating that up. I was having a good time laughing, and yeah, I was great.
Yep.
Let's go.
I agree.
Shane.
Yeah, I mean, I loved all of them as well. The more I think about it, the more I'm fall in love with Mr. Terrific. I love that we didn't talk about that one little scene where he's with Lois and she says something about the discs. Oh, I love those discs, and he's like, "They're spheres, man. They're spheres. These are flat. These are round." He's almost like the angry IT guy a little bit. Like he's just disappointed that everybody doesn't get it. Like,
Right.
get your
Yes.
shit together and like figure out. I'm doing
Kristopher
the hard
and I
work
are
over here.
Kristopher would know.
very much relate, especially that last scene. I think somebody said it. He's like, "I'm now Mr. Terrific." Like,
Yeah.
coming in at the last hour to fix something, to actually fix something that's going to cost, a company millions of dollars an hour, right?
Yep.
That scene just related to me. So
Yeah, I love it. I can't now. I'm really looking forward to. My wife and I absolutely love Peacemaker. It's one of our favorite shows, and then
Heck
that
yeah.
little tiny bit of Peacemaker in there was just so great. It made us even anticipate August coming around, and now seeing a little sampling of Guy Gardner and knowing he's going to be in Lanterns on next year it makes me want to watch that show even more. So, and the ending with Supergirl, like I wasn't super that excited about her, but if she's going to be a train wreck like that in the movie, oh my gosh, I'm all in. I love that number 4 and Superman are just over there like, yeah, that's why that dog has no discipline.
Yeah.
And then her calling him a bitch as she walks out the room just had me in tears.
Yeah.
Later, bitch.
Later, bitch.
So great. Absolutely love that. So.
And the coat, so because like Laura Vandervoort always wore the coat, and you see the coat in the comic books, and to see the coat, or at least I yelled, "Look, the coat, D!" You know what I mean? But nobody really realizes the coat, right? And so when she showed up with the coat, I'm like, all right, comic book accurate. I love it. I'm a big Supergirl fan, by the way, guys. So I am.
Are you now?
This.
Are you really?
Yeah, maybe. You know what I mean? Could be.
All those
be.
art germ covers from Key Comics.
Stop it.
Oh boy.
But yeah. Anyways, continue, Shane.
No. I think I wrapped up. Yeah, I think that's I loved all of them. So, like I said, and even not in that picture as Metamorpho, I think he's part of the team now too.
That's
so.
true. That's very true.
Yep. So I loved them all.
D, final take on the Justice Gang.
So, Guy kind of reminded me of like his Nathan, his portrayal in his character in Firefly / Serenity. Just the way that he acted in that movie / shows, he kind of had almost like the same kind of vibe as Guy in this movie, for me personally. yeah, I do like that he, threw some jokes around to like keep it kind of lighthearted, um, while being kind of like full of himself. But you don't really get that vibe, like turned off vibe because he's doing that. I do agree that Hawk Girl should have, or I would have loved more acting scenes from her as well. We got to see her, when they're fighting off the bad guys, but and when they're in the what do you call it, the Justice Hall, but not as much as think they. I mean, they should have. For me personally, Mr. Terrific. I mean, I didn't know too much about him, but the way that he played his role, yeah, that was phenomenal. And all his lines too, his witty lines, that was great. His tech that he had, and like when Crypto is eating the spheres, that was just for me like hilarious. He's like,
Yes.
no, 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 like he sees it coming at him, right? And he's like, no, and then it gets eaten. But you can't blame him. He's such a cute little dog. And yeah, so the team themselves, they did a phenomenal job. And yeah, I didn't know a lot either about Metamorpho as well, but to find out that the element man, like he can pretty much create like a lot of things, a lot of elements, that's like huge. I mean, you can do a lot with that ability. And that was really cool to see. And then like when he's like floating, I guess flying, floating, and he's like dragging his essence around. Yeah, that was like okay. I've never seen that before. But yeah, well done on that team as well, and I can't wait to see more of them. And kind of going off subject, but not really. I'm really enjoying the inserts from the daily drops
Yeah.
from Candy, because you get to without spoiling it, you get to see like little inserts about each of the characters themselves. So go pick up your books or your
Terrific save Metropolis, guys. So,
so yeah, very cool.
all right. Last question I have for you guys, and I'll open up to the panel. I really want to talk about the people at the Daily Planet. Now, this is my one gripe with the movie. I love the cast, by the way. I love the Daily Planet people. I dig them all. My biggest gripe with this movie was the fact somehow they turned into the Guardians of the Galaxy at the very end of the movie in the spaceship. Like somehow these guys all got into the spaceship and somehow did their deed. And I was just scratching my head like, how is this possible? Like, they went from downstairs in the newsroom, and the fact that Lois still has a spaceship, that was the only thing I was like, that was kind of strange for me. Like they're all in this spaceship when they're really not all should be there. Like this was just a very out of the element thing for me. But as for the cast, I really enjoyed them all. I can't remember some of these guys. I think the two guys in the back, I don't remember their names. They didn't really have a lot of roles. But I dig Kat. I dig Perry, Jimmy Olsen. Come on, you know what I mean? But what do you guys think about the Daily Planet cast here and their roles in the movie Slider?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jimmy Olsen definitely nailed his part in the movie, and it was just really, he had, his, the comedy and just kind of how he's goofy, and then, like, just how he played the part was really, really good. How you'd think Jimmy Olsen would be, and then like, yeah, the whole cast was good. Like Harry, like, I wish I would have seen a little bit more of him, like, but I mean, I think, James Gunn had a lot to do, with the movie too, trying to do like the character building and everything. And, I think like this part, like you said, they just kind of all wound up in there. To me, it kind of felt like he was just trying to get him in there kind of like towards the end so they could have like a part, in the, the main end scene and everything. But yeah, I mean, I think like they have a good dynamic too with, like the whole cast. Like I said, he did a really great job, like, with everybody, and yeah, I mean, I think like I just think he did a really good job, and yeah, I really I look forward to like really what he's gonna do with the world overall with everybody, because there're just so many great actors, and like I could see Guy Gardner with like his own show. I could see like a show just about the Daily Planet, like even Mr. Terrific, or kind of like getting their own spin-off, like something like that, and he can like really build the world out, and all the characters like have their parts, and yeah, so I just think they were all really good.
Yeah.
Shae?
I thought they were really good. Also, I really liked Perry White. Wendell Pierce. I think he played that role really well. I kept thinking, where have I seen this guy? He's been on so many things. And then also Beck Bennett. I don't know his character's name, but every time I saw him, it's like, okay, he's just playing his role on SNL. This is who I thought of every time. Jimmy Olsen, I was like, why? I don't know. I don't get it either. Why is everyone so? But he did a great job with his role. I saw an interview that he did where when he was first sent the script from his agent, he first thought they were casting him as Superman. So I'm not here for Superman. I'm here for Jimmy Olsen. I thought that was pretty funny. I've been watching a lot of interviews and a lot of just learning more about the different actors in this, and I think that they casted everyone so well. So I really loved it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Kristopher.
Yeah, it like I said, it was like the other ones. Not enough time in there. Not enough time with Perry White too as well. That would have been nice to see a little bit more of him. But overall, yes, I feel like I'm just kind of going through the comments here. A Daily Planet spin-off TV show would be amazing. That'd be awesome. Probably like on the quality style more of like the Penguin on HBO Max. That would be killer. But yeah, it was I feel like the whole team flowed very well. Dialogue between everybody was short, but it was concise, to the point. Like I said, James Gunn really honed it in with not only them, but like I said, like just everyone else in different gangs and just even different tight scenes. They just meshed very well, and I just really enjoyed that, watching it over and over again, guys.
I think out of everyone, we believe you, man, since you've seen it 7 times. Shane, your take on the Daily Planet crew?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have anything extra to add. I agree. Perry White would have been cool to see more than. I love his little line at the end. Nothing can slip past him. How long those two been hooking up, and I thought that was just a funny little bit. Yeah, there wasn't enough time to develop all of their characters, just because there's so much going on. But yeah, I mean, we establish who they are, and I'm sure they'll expand in future films.
There you go.
Yeah.
D, close it off, and then I'm going to open up the panel to everybody while I get the giveaways ready.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like they could have also added more time for these characters as a group, but I understand, we had to move all over the place, different parts of the world. But I did like when they were all together, like towards the end, when everything was like just going to shit and falling apart. And, when Lois came with is it the tea craft? What is the sphere? The tea craft, right? Is that the name of it? Yeah. And there was enough seats for all of them. So that was awesome, because if they did it was because Perry was like, what can that hold, like 5 or 6? And Lois was like 6, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's 6 of them. So that would have been really bad.
Had to sit on the floor though, didn't he?
Yeah, I think one of them didn't have a seat.
Yeah, one of them had. Back then.
Yeah, he's like, and how he was like getting tossed around. But I'm glad, like towards the end, yeah, they were all together in that craft, and then another person that we didn't, I don't think we're gonna cover, is Eve. The social media influencer. Like her character was totally like on point for today, like the day and age today, and just to have her like doing that so innocently, but then at an angle where in the background was all these information that she would give Jimmy, and he. It's so funny that they're dynamic too. Like she's this social influencer, and he's like this guy at the Daily Planet, and all she wants is like someone to like really see her right for who she is, and she thinks that's Jimmy, and he's kind of like, I just I'm just gonna use you for your information. And then like towards at the end when they
He
finally
goes
meet.
on a date.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, it's like he had like a change of heart. So in that way, I was like, okay, it's kind of like campy a little. You kind of expect that, but
Wasn't she
because
the
they're
hero of the
so
movie?
opposite.
The real hero of the movie? If you think about it.
Yes, she.
Mhm.
If it weren't for her, yeah, they wouldn't have solved all that. So, shout out to Eve because she was amazing too as in her role. I mean, I don't really know the actor, but she played her part really well. Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, there's a couple other characters that we didn't talk about, and I know we probably don't have enough time to go through all of them, but I kind of want to give you guys your time to kind of really express yourself with the film before we kind of close out the show. But I want to get to Key's question here. He's asking a question to all of us. Can I ask the chat a question, or us? We say that about a lot of movies we watch, right? But overall, it was a great movie, but was it so good we want more? And Key, I'm going to tell you, for me personally, because I enjoy a lot of like DC stuff from the CW side, and now that's done. And I want to have more now of the DC universe, kind of like what Marvel's doing, where they're incorporating movies and TV. But I want to see that more cohesive on the DC side. And I think with Gunn at the helm, we're going to see that now with Peacemaker. You got the Lantern Corps coming out. I believe there's a Clayface movie coming out. And then there's a few other things that are probably going to come out. And it's my understanding he wants to do a Mr. Terrific series as well as a Jimmy Olsen series. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I want to see and I love to see. Also you have what is that, the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, saying they have a 10-year plan for this whole entire ecosystem, this universe they're building. And please take your time on this. Don't rush it. We don't need a Justice League movie next year. Give it time. Give it 3 to 4 years. Flesh out these characters. Give us some good movies to really get to know these guys a little bit better before you slop them all into like some crazy Justice League type of movie. But yeah, I want more specifically. I don't know about you guys. Are you guys wanting more of this stuff?
Absolutely.
Heck yes.
I think
Yes.
so. I think you got your answer there, guys. There you go, Key. I hope that was enough for the answer right there. Now, all right. I'm going to open up the panel. I really want you guys to express yourselves. I'm going to be getting the giveaways ready while you guys do that. I'm going to go down the line. Slider, overall, and give us your final take.
Yeah, like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. Like, I just think it's the Superman that we really needed to get back to. Just that, that what the core of Superman is. He's everybody's hero. And I think James Gunn really captured that. And, I think that everybody in the movie did an amazing job. And I really like how he's building the world out. And like he's, questioned, yeah, I definitely want more. And like this has been the first time in probably, years and years that I really do want more DC like this, and like I was into the CW too, like Flash and all that. That was one of my favorites from the CW, and just how they built out that world and the crossovers and everything. And I really think like they can do a lot with this. They have amazing actors and they really play their parts well. So I just think that the sky's the limit, and James Gunn is a good guy to do that. And yeah, I definitely want more from all of them. So yeah, I'm just really happy with how it is. And I would probably give it like a 9 out of 10 if I was going to rate it. So yeah, but that's my take.
Let's go. Shae, I'm waiting for your take.
I agree 100% with Slider that if this is the direction we're going to continue to go in the next 10 years, 10 out of 10, I would love to see that direction. I think that they did an amazing job with the casting, the writing. I mean, it had everything. It made you cry. It made you laugh. It had action. It was just everything. It was so perfectly done. And then now that I'm even seeing behind the scenes stuff, it was brilliant. 10 out of 10.
Nice. Let's go. 10 out of 10. Kristopher.
Yes, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Like I said, yes, if DC is gonna be pulling this off, especially in the next decade, that's gonna be a wonderful experience. Would like to see more on their WB web experience. That'd be awesome. But I think studios are back, cinemas are back. I think a lot of the studios are really looking at one another and kind of thinking, quality over quantity right now. Especially these last couple of years, we've been crying for it. They're listening to us very close, and I'm really excited to see what the DC universe brings on the big screen.
Let's go.
Awesome. Let's go.
Shane.
Yeah, I mean, this was a fantastic kickoff. As far as really, we've had the kickoff happened with I think Peacemaker, and then there was that animated series that came out on HBO, and all of it has guns, fingers in it. But this is the first kind of cinematic kickoff, and I absolutely loved it. I'm all for it. I love this new direction. I personally wasn't a big fan of the dark Zack Snyder kind of brooding, almost emo characters, and I'm excited for this. This is more in line with what I enjoy. So I'm happy about this, and I can't wait to see the next one.
Awesome. D, I already know what you're gonna say, but
I give it a 5 out of 10. I'm just kidding. Of course, 10 out of 10. Like, I'm not crazy. Yeah, I enjoy the movie. I wish, like, when we have reviews and stuff, because I know, like, I like to like do kind of like a deeper dive, but we only saw the movie once, and we just didn't have time to go see it again, to like get all these extra things that I might have missed the first time. But yeah, 10 out of 10. I love the movie. I can't wait to see more, what's in the future for DC, for Superman, the crew, the Daily Planet crew, and the Justice Gang. I'm ready for it whenever it happens. And please, if you haven't watched it, go and see it. If you watched it, go and see it again. And see who can beat Kristopher. He's watched it 7 times. If you can see it,
I don't think anybody's beat me yet.
Oh.
Hands down, you're the king, my friend.
Yes.
You are Mr. Terrific when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Only had to see.
But go and enjoy yourself. Everyone that hasn't seen it, it's a great movie. Highly recommend from me to you. Yeah, it's been awesome.
I gotta say, because for me, I have not been happy at the movies for any type of movie lately, to be very quite honest. It's okay, or I'm like, that was a good film. Even I think the last film we watched was the new Avengers, right? And that was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that take, but I wouldn't necessarily say that was the movie of the year for me specifically. And obviously, Fantastic Four comes out next week. But I'm just going out and say it. For me personally, this is the movie of the year for me. And the year's not even over. Mainly because it got me in my feels 3 minutes into the movie. And I didn't even expect to be gotten my feels, right? I walked into this theater with low expectations. And I got in my feels right at the very beginning. I got in my feels 10 minutes after when he started flying in the air. I got it in my feels when he's saving the lady from the car. Slider's favorite scene. I got it in my feels when the parents were there and the whole thing. The dad and the son routine. I really enjoyed that because I'm a father myself, and it resonated with me. And that's the point, right? When you go to a movie, you want to connect with the characters. You want to enjoy the action. You want to enjoy the story. You want to resonate with them. And how these characters resonate with you is if you can relate to them. And that's what I loved about what James Gunn did here. He made this Superman relatable. He made this Superman a man. And that's what I loved about it. He wasn't an alien, even though he's an alien. He has all these robots. He's got to go and fight all these crazy things like kaijus. But at the end of the day, he's a man with a cape on. and that's what I saw. So I really enjoyed it, guys. And thank you guys for coming on the panel. This has been really awesome. I've been trying to like make sure I don't get into my feels about certain things, and I think I was able to accomplish that. But I do have some very dark glasses on, so you guys can't see anything. So, but guys, we have giveaways today, and when I mean giveaways, there was another one added. So there are 3 from Candy Digital, 1 from Slider, which is also a rollover from Candy, and then 1 from McFarlane. And if someone who wins first has a bat cowl, I am going to give away, once again, you guys, I'm going to show this at the screen, a Clayton Crane 1 in 50 Absolute Superman #1 in the comic capsule right here. This is going to one of you lucky winners if the first person who wins has a bat cowl. So I'm going to get the giveaway tool ready. D, run the show.
Yeah, so for whoever wins the physical comic, you will have to be okay with sharing your mailing address with us, please. If not, then feel free to roll it over to the next person. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone for being here in the comments, watching, listening, enjoying the conversation. And yeah, the chats has just been going off. I really love when I see that. And I appreciate you guys for coming on, and guys and gal, for coming on the panel. Slider, Shae, Kristopher, and Shane, and Hinano. I really enjoy this, talking about the Superman film, just DC in general, and just being able to talk about it with people who are in the same boat and really enjoyed it, from however their point of view was, per perspectives, and how they enjoyed the movie, where, whatever theater you had, and special effects or whatnot. Very cool. And yeah, I enjoyed this. So thank you all for your time and coming on here and being here with us today. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, of course. And so, Shae, you did give me a graphic. I'm going to show this to everybody. So essentially right here, these are what we can craft tomorrow. I think crafting ends tomorrow, right, Shae, for these?
Correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you kind of want to give the audience a real quick rundown for that, because I know some people are going to wait till the end, but I wanted to show this graphic before we went.
Yeah, so it closes at 11 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So get in on that crafting. Again, the way it works is if you pull a core and you craft it with one of the other recipe ingredients, you will get the core foil cover. And then down the line, uncommon gets you the uncommon cover, rare gets you the rare cover, epic gets you the rare foil, and then the legendary gets you the motion legendary cover.
Sweet. So get those done, guys.
We're almost done here, guys. I got to pull this one graphic up. So here we go. All right. And okay, guys. So these are, I'm assuming, is one of these titles that are going to be given away, right? Out of the 4 that are going to be given away.
So the ones we've got left over to give away, we've got 1 Superman left over to give away, and then 1 Hawk Girl, 1 Mr. Terrific, and 1 Lex Luthor. The
There you
Superman
go, guys.
one coming from Slider.
Okay, so we're going to run it like this. We've got 4 coming from Candy Digital right there. Shout out to Candy and shout out to Shae. And then I just got this from Raven, who got this from the Comic Guy. This is what McFarlane Toys is giving away tonight as well to you guys. So shout out to McFarlane Toys as well for supplying a giveaway. Really appreciate you guys for supporting the audience tonight. And so, guys, it's going to go like this. Very simple. Places 1 through 4 will be the comics for Candy. And then the last pull, which is the 5th, will be for the Superman. And like I said, out of the 1 through 5, whoever has a bat cowl that wins first out of the 1 through 5, they're going to get this 1 out of 50 comic from myself, not True Media, from my personal collection. So let's go. All right, guys. And let me get the giveaway tool ready. How about I have you guys kind of give a final word? Slider, go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me on. It was amazing. I love the talk. And yeah, like I said, if you haven't seen this movie, I would go see it. And it's a good take on Superman, and it's something different. And like I liked, the Snyder Superman, but this one, like I said, it brings me back to that Christopher Reeves Superman. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. And like I said, all the characters are amazing, and I'm just looking forward to what else they're gonna do with this whole new universe. So yeah, guys.
Let's go. Shae,
Awesome.
final words.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. And like Slider said, if you have not seen this movie, well, I'm hoping you have seen it because then we've spoiled it for you. But I will see this again 2, 3, 4 times. I loved it, every aspect of it. Highly recommend it. So please enjoy.
Awesome.
Go,
Thank you,
guys.
Shae.
Thank you, Shae. Kristopher.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on here. It was a pleasure talking with you all, especially about something that I really do, and as well as all of us can resonate to, is just a love for movies and a love for our wonderful heroes and villains out there. So it'll be nice to see you guys in the future, and maybe talk about some future movies and do some other movie reviews like this in the future. It was fun.
And you guys are always welcome to come on. I mean, like in reality, and yes, people don't realize this. This is also Shane's show as well. So it is, you know what I mean? And guys, this is more of a passion thing for us, this show. So anybody that wants to come on and talk story or talk shop about like a certain movie when we're on, you guys are always welcome to come join us. It's an open door policy here. As long as you're not what, D?
Don't be a dick.
Okay.
One simple rule, guys.
That's it. Shane, close it out, my friend.
I will just I'll end it with this. The movie studios make these movies to provide entertainment for us, and I would say try and go at it looking at it like Superman does. Look at everything is beautiful, and it's here for our entertainment. Enjoy it, and I would say go out to the theater and support seeing movies in the theater. So enjoy the summer, and yeah, I can't wait for the next Superman.
Let's go.
Let's
All right,
go.
guys. And we're going to spin that wheel. We're going to spin it 5 times. And I'm going to ask the winner, as soon as someone wins, if you got a bat cow. If you say yes, you need to prove it to me. And by the way, do not send me a screenshot of someone else's bat cow, because I'm going to go check with that community. They're going to tell me the truth. So let's go.
Shae probably already knows.
Good luck, everybody. For the first winner of tonight, who is going to be the winner? The biggest bro. I know he has a bad cow. So
Nice.
He has a bad cow. And yes, guys, even though he's a part of True Media Group, this is coming from my PC. And Big Bro, you're not here to tell me no, re-roll. So this is coming to you, brother.
Rigged.
Love you, bro. I know you couldn't make it, but there you go. This is coming to you, man. A 1 in 50. Let's get it. All right. Okay, next one here, guys. We're going to go for the second roll. This is for the second DC comic from Candy. Let's see who's going to be the winner. Good luck.
Good luck, good luck, good luck.
And let me get rid of this bar because that's no longer valid. Hey, right on.
Nice.
Akash, let's go. Congratulations. Shae, how do you want them to do this? Do you want them to DM us? Do you want them to DM you? How would you like to have the communication?
They can DM me, but I'm trying to write everything down too, so just in case.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll tell you
I'm
what.
already down as well.
D's on it as well. So
Thank you, D.
Akash, read out to both of us. If you can't get a hold of one, I'm sure between the two we'll be able to figure that out. Big congratulations to you. We have 3 more rolls, guys. Good luck for the third place winner right here for the third Candy digital comic. Let's see who's going to be, and good luck.
Good luck.
Saloni. Let's go. Oh, wrong one right there. Oops. Big congratulations to you.
Awesome.
Reach out to Shae or D, and we'll get that facilitated. How much is that, everybody? Was that 3 or 4? Forget already.
That was the third.
That was the third. All right.
More.
One more for the Candy comics. Let's see who is it going to be. It is getting late, and these guys are more later than me.
Let's see. Let's see.
Ankh!
Ankh!
Congratulations, Ankh. Reach out to D and Shae, and we will help you get facilitated for your giveaway. And guys, this is for the final giveaway of tonight. This one is from McFarlane Toys. This is for the classic Superman. Let's go for the final winner of tonight. May the juju be with you, and thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. We appreciate you.
Good luck. Good luck. Let's see.
Daniel Martin, let's go.
Awesome. Yeah, they're
I
pretty
love
active
that.
in the chat.
Heck
Awesome.
yeah. And those are the winners tonight, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate everyone for tuning in every single time. Thank you to Slider. I know it's super late. You're in the other side. You're on the East Coast. Shae, I know you're also pretty close, as well as Kristopher, and as well as my friend Video Shane right here, guys. I really want to congratulate both you, Shae and Shane, for the Future of Collecting panel that you guys are going to be doing next week. We had a phenomenal live stream 2 days ago. If you guys haven't seen that yet, go check that out. Go check these guys out at their panel next week, Thursday. It's going to be historic. Yes, historic. I can't wait to see it. I saw Funko retweeting you guys today. That's how historic it is. So let's go, you guys. And I'm going to say it again. Shae and Shane Co. It belongs on a bumper sticker. So, D, close out the show.
I had a question for the candy comic covers. Is there a timeline of when they need to get back in touch with us? Because there were some people that I'm not too familiar with, so they may. I don't know.
As soon as possible. We want to airdrop them tomorrow, but if we can, we'd always do it next week if they're unable to get a hold of us.
Okay. All right. Hope the winners heard that. So please get in contact with me. I'm at D1 and only _ on X. So you can please message me there and we can get that over to Shae. And thank you, Shae, again for those giveaways. Thank you, Slider, for the giveaways. Thank you, Shane, Comic Guy McFarlane, for the other giveaway as well. And thank you, Kristopher, for being here. Thank you, Hinano, for hosting. Much love to everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Until the next Severed Floor episode.
All right, guys. And by the way, last thing, go watch Superman. It's the best movie of the year.